So now we're going to see how we can do an update using select or an updatable result set. So we have the first demonstration here that we see, and as we all know, the parameters, we have type forward only, and we have updatable. So if I run this code, already I can see that I'm going to get an exception because of this line of code here, because I'm trying to alter I'm trying to use our result set. You can only iterate forward only, but here I'm trying to change that to put a cursor where I want, yet I can only go forward. So let's run this code and see that we do actually get that exception. So you can see we get that exception, so we have to change this. Alright, so that is fine, we have changed that. Then so what we do is, before we update, we display our data. So let's see what we have. Okay, we have all this data that we see here. So for the purpose of testing, I'm just gonna delete these two columns so that we don't get confused. Okay, let's see what we have here. So we are saying we display everything. We take our cursor to the first row, then we update. I can just say updatable result set. So this first row should actually be turned, the first name should be turned into updatable, which means where is the first row? This first row here should actually be turned into updatable result set with ID 41, and then we update. So every time after you have selected this, you must also mention that you are updating the row, otherwise the changes won't take effect. So let's run this code and see what we have. As you can see here, we have updatable result set, and we put our cursor to the first row. So let's say we didn't want to do this. What else were we going to do? So let's say we say ResultSet.next. So what is going to happen here? Let's write Mutus. We are going to be able to change the first row to Mutus, which means that this will go to Mutus, and we update it, that's fine. Then when we execute, then I want to remove this. So if we remove this now, it means we are going to print everything after the first row, which is this one, because our current cursor when we performed an update was on the first row. So let's run this code and see what I just explained. All right. Okay, let's see that the first row was okay, it was not updated. So that means that for us to perform what we need to perform, okay, let me do this. I'm just gonna do that. Okay, it says error is line 20. Okay, let's read what this guy is saying. It says update the designated column with string value. The updater methods are used to update column values in the current row or the insert row. The updater methods do not update the underlying database. Instead, the update row should be done. Okay, so the SQL specified. So let's see. I don't really understand why we are getting this error. We are here. Oh, I see why we are getting the error. We are getting the error because this code here actually consumed the ResultSet data. So when we get here, the ResultSet will generate, will go to the, actually the data is not there. Like it has, the cursor is where there is no data. It's null. That is why we are expressing a null pointer here. So what we need to do, we need to remove the cursor to the first row. So when we do this, we have a result set that is not null. That is why we will be able to update it. So for instance, if we put the cursor to 2, for instance, this one is definitely out because this print already consumed the result set. The result set, when you say next, you can think of it like you iterated until the end of it. Then when you are done, you are trying to do an update, yet you are at the end. You don't have a row to update. That is why we were getting the issue we're getting. But now this absolute method, when we put 1 here, we're actually telling the result set to go to the first row in the result set and update it. That is why this one works. Or what you could do, if you don't want to use absolute, we can say before first and say result set.next. This one will work because although you have consumed the result set, the cursor is at the end, not that you have consumed it. You brought the cursor back before the first column, and then you went to the first column, and then you updated it. And then what you do, you click the update, then you print everything. So let's do this. This should work fine now. Yes. So as you can see, before update is this guy, after update, okay, after update should not show because we did update the first one, fine. But now when we print, the print goes to the next, takes the cursor to the next row. That's why it's not showing. But in the DB, it did update it. Yes, this is what we wanted to show. So now, to make that come back to the previous row, we must now execute before first again. Then you will get what you are looking for. So let me say, let's say BSG. I'm running it. It should change the first, this one here to BSG, which it did. So I hope you guys, you see what I'm doing here, and I hope you do understand what we are trying to do. It's an update.